Hello, anyone not still living in the 1970s. We interrupt your day to bring you this announcement. Husker Ninja is in the building. Alright, guys, we're here with sort of a new series here on the channel. It is a Madden 25 simulation franchise, as I'm going to go through our rules and whatnot real quick, but um, I'm just trying to think because I'm going off to college in the fall, and so I'm like, what can I do that would be easy to upload if I'm struggling to find time to play a game and edit it and do voiceover and all that. And I'm like, simulation franchise, simulation dynasty, that's something that it doesn't take a ton of time to edit. And so, you just sit down, you go through a couple weeks, you edit out, the week advance, and you got an episode. And so that's mainly what this series will be, I think. It will be a series that I will upload if I'm having trouble, being able to find time to record and edit the other series. So I would not expect a ton of game or a ton of like I don't know, like a continuous upload schedule here, I guess I would say. As you can see, we're looking and we're like, you know what, maybe we should rebuild our stadium is the option we're ultimately going to choose. We're just going to rebuild it. And we went owner mode here and we took Steve Smith. He's really the reason I became a Panthers fan in the first place. And I know on the game he's technically still on the roster, but I'm assuming he's going to retire after a year or two. And so we just went Steve Smith Sr. here. And we're going to go take a look at the rosters. As the other thing is, I don't like the gameplay very much in Madden. I don't know why. So I'm like, oh, if I just simulate, I can still do like the draft and free agency and build up a team, but not have to deal with playing the games. But you can see Cam Newton, I'm not really sold on as being our quarterback. He's the best we have right now, and I'm not going to make it a huge priority, but maybe if we find a more pure passer in the free agency, that's something we can look at. If not, we'll roll with him for now. We can see we had Amir Abdullah because I'm a big Nebraska fan, obviously, so Abdullah was one of my favorite players for the longest time. I'm like, you know what? I'm a big fan of his. I'm just going to have him on our team, and so that's different from real life, but it's not that different. And as we're looking at receivers, you can see we do not have a ton of receivers, so I'm thinking about potentially maybe moving Devin Funchess from tight end to wide out. Otherwise, we got Steve Smith, and that's about it. Because Cullen Benjamin's like 78, 79, something like that. And see right there, Steve Smith, 13-year pro. He's from Utah. I'm expecting he's probably going to retire here shortly. And so that's why I just went ahead and did the owner mode with Steve Smith anyway. But I would say so far, definitely overall, a team need would be getting another wideout or two. I mean, you want to have 2 or 3 really starting caliber wideouts. And as you're going to see here in a little bit, offensive line is going to be a decent need. Like, we got no one at left tackle right now. We got a left guard who I think will be okay, and Matt Slauson. Center, I think we're okay at right now with Ryan Khalil. Turner at right guard, if we can find someone better, or maybe draft someone in the draft. But right tackle, we're good. Center and left guard, we're good. But left tackle, I'm assuming we'll just have one of our right tackles start there, but that's a position we should try and address either in free agency or the draft, I think. And center, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I think we can still work with Ryan Khalil for right now. But we need a right end. We have a left end. We just need another right end to help improve that front seven. That's definitely the weak link in the defensive line right now. We brought Julius Peppers back because I know in real life he is with the Panthers again, and I like that. But we're okay at corner. We could use maybe one more, and we could use a strong safety. So those are kind of the positions of need I'm looking at. Is another wideout or two, another corner, offensive line help, a right end, and a strong safety. And I'm not sure really whether I want to address that in the draft or maybe just sign a free agent. I guess we'll see what's there when we hit the free agent pool just to see. But as you can see, we're looking, and you see right there at free agency, ooh, Jake Long right there. And so we're going to sign him, and that immediately helps our left tackle spot. And he's not technically a scheme fit after a little bit later I go and change him. I don't remember what it was, but he's not a scheme fit in our current scheme, but he's still definitely an upgrade. I mean, you know what you're getting with him. He's got solid blocking. It's just maybe his overall changes. And we also will sign Will Smith, a right end. And I don't anticipate him being anywhere near a long-term solution. I don't. He's old. He's probably going to retire here shortly. And so I'm going to say that's still a need, but this year that will hopefully help us a little bit. And now we're looking at strong safety. And I'm trying to decide between Dewan Landry and he's the first one we're looking at. Just, I don't know, I'm not super impressed with his ratings. And so I think we're going to look down at Bernard Pollard and he's the guy we're going to sign. And so that addresses strong safety a little bit, I think. And here you can see our scheme. It's for balanced offense and base 4-3. I think our offense is like power run or something originally. I'm like, maybe not. As we went and we released Roman Harper because we just skipped through the preseason, made some cuts, but we released Roman Harper because we are going to sign Victor Cruz. We found him right there before week one of the regular season. We're like, that will help boost wideouts. But I'm still looking for another wideout. I'd like to have 3 very capable wideouts. Maybe it's Benjamin, maybe it's not. I guess we'll see. But we lose to Seattle week 1, 31-21. We had 3 turnovers. And that's exactly why I'm not sold on Cam's ability. I definitely think his overall ability is a little inflated because he's got that dual threat. So if we find a better, maybe pure passer in free agency, then I'll make the switch. But for now, we'll roll with him because I'm not about to try and waste an early draft pick on it when we still have other needs. Well, yeah, Steve Smith's lining it up. And the other reason I want another wideout or two is I'm also assuming Smith will retire. And so then we'll be back to just Victor Cruz if Cruz performs well. If he doesn't, we'll need 2 or 3 depending on if Benjamin pans out. And I'll keep a closer eye on that as we get closer to the end of the season. just sort of comparing the stats to see what players I want to go after, see if I can re-sign in free agency and whatnot. But for right now, we're just looking at the game stats, not putting a ton into them. It's early on. If there's one that's just constantly saying like, I don't know about that. Like if I'm seeing a big problem, then I'll probably try and make a switch. But for right now, I think we're good. And so I'm not gonna worry about trying to judge productivity by any of these free agent signings or anyone on the roster until we get closer to the off season and needing to re-sign players. And see, Tillman allowed 4 catches, which is not that bad, I don't think. And especially for like an older corner, he's gonna get beat just because he's old and his speed isn't probably where it once was. And so that's another reason I'm looking for another corner is Tillman could retire here in a year or two. And so as we're looking, we get to pick a new stadium and we will pick the deluxe futuristic design. And now we're finally getting ready to show you some of our scouting, looking at people in the draft. And the number one guy we're looking at right here, we've got Mario Means. He's a wideout, obviously, from Nebraska City. He fits our scheme. And right now, week 1, all I did was scout and see if they fit our scheme. And we'll go from there. Like, positions of what I'm calling our needs, if they fit our scheme. And then, we'll call that good. We're also looking at Tariq Allen. He's a projected late second rounder out of Nebraska. And so because I don't know if I want to try and trade up and get like a top 5 pick to be able to draft Means. And so I'm looking at later rounds, but wideout is also not a huge need right now, especially if both Benjamin and Cruz end up working well. But we scouted a ton of right guards, and only 2 really fit our scheme. Neither Kessie Toddy from Oklahoma and Parker Anger from Cincinnati. But you can see they're both 6th and 7th round picks, respectively, projected to be later draft picks, and so guard might be a position we have to address in free agency if we can find it. And obviously, if their ratings aren't good, like their key ratings are like, not that good. But we found 3 late first round right ends I'm interested in. They all fit our scheme, and so we're going to scout them, see if they look like they'll work any better. We've got at corner Ishmael Adams. He's a projected late second rounder. We've got Cole Luke, a projected middle third. And then we got Devontae Harris from Texas A&M. He's an early 4th. DJ White is after him. He's also an early 4th. And he's from Georgia Tech. So I'm sticking to really my position of needs, although I'm not so sure strong safety is a need right now. We've also got Tre'Davious White. He's a projected early 5th rounder from LSU. And we're looking at Jonathan Jones, a late 5th rounder from Auburn. And so now you can see Thomas Davis is no longer hurt. We advanced to week 2 and we beat Buffalo 31-17. As we look, Newton had a touchdown but 2 more interceptions. And so he's at 5 through 2 games, and that's definitely something that's got to be lowered. And if that does not improve, I may look at scouting quarterbacks in the draft, because that is not very good. Receiving, we had Olsen and C. Smith. Cruz had a catch. I realized I did not have him on the depth chart. It didn't put him on the depth chart for some reason after I signed him. And so now he is, and we will really see how that goes for him. But the offensive line doing okay. They weren't allowing a ton of sacks. Munnerlyn and Bené Benwickery both had interceptions. And Benwickery's really, so far he's really impressed me at corner. I'm a little less concerned about corner. I'd like a third one. And also I'm looking at scouting one, seeing if they're draftable because, I do not know how long Tillman's going to continue to play. He could retire this offseason, maybe next. And so we're just going to look at scouting them for now, and of course we'll also see how free agency ends up. But as we go, we're going back to scouting. We're going to start by scouting really the catching ratings here for Mario Means. And it says NA, but he's from Nebraska City. They still recognize team builder, But that's an A catch. I can work with that. Spectacular catch isn't that great, but that can be one of the first things I look to bump up. And his catch in traffic was just middle of the road, as was his awareness. But A catching is something you can work with. And as we start looking at Tariq Allen, he's not very good catching the ball. He doesn't have good route running either. I think Mario's was like a C, maybe it was a D. If not, that would be something we'd have to bump up along with spectacular catching. But I'm not so interested in Allen anymore because if he can't catch, why draft him, We're looking for more receiving threats. Maybe he's probably got like A speed is why he's projected to go in the second round, but those ratings don't really impress me. And so now we're going to go look at our right guards that fit our scheme. And we'll start with Kazi Toddy maybe. And keep in mind he's a 6th rounder, so 2 C's and a D I can work with. It's not so far bad that there's no way I'm going to be able to upgrade it. Especially for 6th round. Like if it was a 1st rounder, maybe not so much. And Ahinger does not look as good as Kazitari does, so he's probably not someone I would be super interested in right now. We're going to move and scout some of our right ends now, or at least one of them. Calhoun's got decent tackle, not much in the way of power moves, but he's got good hit power. And so we'll finish scouting him up next week. But let's go ahead and advance to week 4 and see if we can beat the Giants. As we advance the week, and we're starting by releasing a cornerback in Teddy Williams. And that would be because we are going to go sign. We are going to go sign a corner to replace him. But this one is Chris Houston. He's a big improvement. We're gonna bring him onto the team. We'll put him at 3rd corner for right now because Tillman hasn't been absolutely terrible. If Tillman starts to be given up, starts to not be playing as well, we will definitely look to bring Houston into one of the top 2 spots. But we did get the win against the Giants. Cruz had another catch, only 5 yards. You'd like to see him get involved more, but Steve Smith is really Cam's sort of go-to guy. And if you didn't notice, after the first game where Abdullah had like 50 yards, he's been like 100 yards each of the last 2. And so he seems to be finding some rhythm, and it probably also helps that he's not facing Seattle's defense. Well, we look at interceptions, and Ben Wickery again has a pick. He's had one in each of the first 3 games. I'm definitely impressed with how he's doing. Pollard allowed 5 catches this week. Munnerlyn allowed 4. Tillman allowed 3. Kuechly allowed 5, but he's also a linebacker, so I guess that's not terrible. And Ben Wickery had a pick 6. As you're going back, looking at some scouting now, we're going to start by going back and scouting our 3 right ends. As I guess am I just scouting those 3? I don't really remember what I do here. I think eventually I go back to Calhoun. Yeah. We're going to look at his block shedding. We're going to look play recognition, awareness. Well, awareness is super easy to upgrade, like it doesn't cost much, so I'm not too concerned about that. I think we will also maybe scout strength. Yeah. But I mean those ratings aren't terrible, and like the ones that aren't that good, either like power moves, he's probably got better finesse moves, but I just need a body on the offensive line or on the defensive line, you know. Looking at Daddy Nichols, he just seems very eh. So we'll see what Carl Lawson does before trying to decide which one should be a. Because I'm going to look at 2 of them in case one of them's gone. And I'm thinking right now, Lawson and Calhoun are probably going to be the 2 guys I look at. And so I'm less interested in Nicholas, but I'm going to scout a couple more just to make sure, I think. And see, I'm thinking maybe finesse moves. We'll see if I end up doing it. I don't remember. Honestly, so I'm just looking. Or maybe I'm just looking at the ratings, trying to decide. We got 2 last 2 season at D. I mean, the D's power moves, but F block shedding and awareness. Especially at the first round, I don't know that that's something I would necessarily be interested in. And so I'm thinking I'm just going to take Nicholas off my interest watch list right now. He's going to remain unscouted, and I guess if the first 2 are both gone. But one thing I'm curious about is I want to see, like, if I go to maybe scouts, is it question mark, a sure letter rating, and then actual rating? Like, that I don't know because I haven't played Madden a ton. And so I'm going to go click on impact block, I think. And so it does go right from a letter with a question mark to his actual rating. And 74 impact block for a 6-round pick. That's actually not terrible. And so with our remaining 100 points, we're going to scout some corners. And if they don't have good coverage, I'm not going to be interested in them. That's just the way this is going to go. But after scouting here, we're going to advance past our bye week. And I will probably show one more scouting week. And then that will be the end of this episode, as we're already up to like 24 minutes. And so like these videos will be kind of boring, and I was trying to guess how much I was actually going to cut out here in this first episode. I think I'm going to do maybe 3 weeks at a time in future ones. That way you don't end up with a super long one, because it's just simulation, you know. You don't want to be sitting here for half an hour just seeing me scout and seeing recaps of games. So future episodes will definitely be a lot shorter, I promise. But we're going to advance the week, and we just have corners left. And maybe after this, I will start to look at a quarterback or two just in case Cam does not improve and cut down on his interceptions. But those are some pretty good coverage ratings. Press would need to be brought up. Play recognition's okay. He got good jumping too. And so right now, I think Cole Luke is my number one interest at corner. Devontae Harris has good jump. He's got decent press, decent man, good zone. He doesn't have much in the way of play recognition or awareness. But he's someone else I'd definitely be interested in looking at. DJ White, not so much as you have a D and a C, not a C and a B. But if one of your coverage ratings is a D as a corner, I'm thinking that's going to get you taken off my interest board. Unless you have like really, really high in the other. But a C and a D is not that enticing to me right now. Although we are going to scout his jumping and his press too for some reason. I guess just to make sure, but yeah, very developmental. We'll look elsewhere, I'm thinking. Like here, 2 C's. You had a B jumping, D press, F play recognition, C awareness, B pursuit though. So Tre'Davious White is definitely, right now we're looking at 3 corners I'm interested in. Cole Luke, I don't remember which one the second one was. Was it? I don't know, but Tre'Davious White is the second one. And I'm trying to remember which 4th rounder it was I was interested in. I already don't remember. I thought I'll refresh myself next time. Jonathan Jones has decent ratings, I think. Maybe we'll just keep an eye on him for now. I'm looking for other things to scout. We'll do injury and stamina. You got good stamina, okay injury. Tre'Davious White, we're going to look at his stamina and injury ratings. A C and a B, that's not terrible. Devontae Harris, there you go. I can't remember if it was that or the DJ, but Devontae Harris is the 4th corner I'm interested in, I guess. We got 4 of them. We also looked at Luke. He's got a C and an A. And that will do it for this episode. I apologize. I know it's been a long episode. It's very boring, but the next the future episodes will be shorter, I promise. I'm going to try and take it 3 weeks per episode, and so that should keep us under 20 minutes. But that will do it for me, and I will see you guys next time. Have a fantastic day, everybody.